Hello, Emily. Hey, Chanelli. Welcome, Jerry. Kathy Marino, long time. Hello again, Ann. How are you doing, Kathy?
Good, great. How are you, Ray?
I'm really good, all things considered.
Yes, yes.
Hello, Justin. Well, welcome, Dina. Ella. Hey, Anna. How are you doing?
Good.
Ann?
Good. Happy to see you.
Nice to see you. Hey, Ron. Good to see you.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, Dina.
Uh,
Time. Bridget, Miriam, hi Miriam, welcome. I'm gonna try to say hi to everyone, guys, but at some point, let's see. So I'm trying to figure out, I guess like everyone, trying to figure out how Zoom works. And
You don't know yet?
they've created this thing where you need to admit people. Jeff, my brother. Hey, Tracy, my neighbor. Hey, Nancy. Hello again.
Hi.
Welcome. And Dr. Mark Oswald, so good to see you, brother. So good to see you're here. Chris, welcome again. Hey, Bridget. How you guys doing?
We're good. Thank you. I brought my crown. I figured it was a princess kind of a day. No.
Tiara is so beautiful. It's what it's called, right? Tiara? What do you call it? What's the correct
Tiara.
pronunciation?
You are correct.
Hey, hello. Hey, Emily.
Hello.
I love it. Hey, Sage, my beloved ones.
Hey guys.
How you guys doing?
Tracy.
Tracy, the neighbor. Gail, welcome. Huh. Hello, Bonnie. Hello, Jordan. Anestis, my Greco brother, welcome. Heather. Allison. So I think maybe, hello, Nina Crist from the other room. Hey, Seth. Olympus, how are you, my brother?
Hey Ray, how you doing, man?
I am missing you. I'm missing
I miss you too. I'm sorry I missed this morning. I got faked out, but I'll be doing yoga with you.
We had a yoga mat out for you, and it was left empty.
I know. I didn't get the usual connection, so I missed it.
Okay. So welcome to everyone as you enter. I'm going to say that the way that Zoom works is that we have to admit every person. I don't know if we've figured out a way not to have to do this. If anyone knows of a way how to do this, please shoot us an email. We're learning. Hello, Erica. So it's so nice to see you again. Jerry. Hello, Kat. I see, my brother, you're still a chocolate lover.
Yeah, I got some here for you if you'd like it.
You always do have chocolate for me. I'm sorry I'm 3,000 miles away.
It's one of the major food groups, right?
I hope you brought enough for everybody. Everybody.
So welcome, everybody. I'm see what we're gonna do here. I'm gonna make sure, I'm just gonna give a few more minutes to make sure that some people are dropping in a little bit later, getting some technical difficulties or wow, okay. Welcome everyone, welcome more people. Let's see. Okay, we're having some surges, some electrical surges here. Hello, David from Colorado. I'm just gonna give everyone a heads up that we are in a place with spotty Wi-Fi and a lot of electric surges. So, I'm sorry? Be here and admit? No, I think we're good. I mean, I think that it's easier, it's fine, yeah. Thank you. Nina has been an amazing IT throughout all this time and challenges where we've switched. So I am going to make sure, let's see here, that no one else is waiting. And welcome, Kevin. Long time. Holly, so good you could make it. I want to talk with every one of you. With many of you, we have a lot of catching up to do. And with many of you, we've been more in contact with the current Jaguar path studies, but still we have a lot to talk about. And I'm going to begin by saying, I'm going to take a moment here and we could start, I'd like to start with a centering. And we'll start with a centering. Can everyone hear me?
I can hear you.
Take a yes, a yes, a yes, a yes. Awesome. Lisa, thank you for joining. I'm glad you could make it. It is so nice to see so many of you. I've missed many of you. Namaste. Welcome. With everyone I see here, my Anestis, my Greek brother. With many of you, we've shared so much through Jaguar Path evolving and all the practices. We've all gone deep into ourselves and brought out and released so many things together. I'm grateful we can all be here. And some of you, even more recently, were with us here in Costa Rica. So I'll start with saying that with many of you that I haven't seen. Nina and I were here in Costa Rica for a training, and upon the news, we decided to not take that last airplane out of Costa Rica. As soon as we heard that Kripalu had closed and we were out of work, we decided to stay here until Kripalu opens. That just on a logistical level to share with you guys. And for those of you who I haven't seen in a while and don't know our whereabouts. It feels safe. It feels safe to be here until we ride out the storm and then return when Kripalu opens and we get back to our life. I'd like to start with a centering. Make sure, please, I feel most of you are muted. Good, awesome. Let's just take a moment and center. I invite you to find a comfortable seat. And take a moment and close your eyes and come within. The standing position, what we call Tandasana in yoga, is referred to in Tai Chi and Qigong. We refer to it as the point of origin. So feel exactly that as you close your eyes and you inhale, feel that inhalation as that inhale itself is your own self and you're returning to the place of origin. As you close your eyes, feel and notice if there are any thoughts that are an echo of emotions and feelings, sensations, and reactions to everything that is happening, and even more specifically, if it's closer to you. I know many of you have people that are close to you that are in it in the deepest way. And I feel and I invite you to inhale deeper into the body, feeling that you're inhaling into the deepest self. Inhaling to return to the place of origin, as if to inhale to that part of yourself, that pure you before anything happened. That pure you that remains you no matter what happens. The part of our psyche, our soul, our deepest soul, that is who we truly are, who we came as and who we will leave as. Perhaps getting even more comfortable, scoop your tailbone and press down through your sits bones. Invite your navel in and lift your rib cage up and away from your pelvic floor. Tuck your chin back and lengthen up through the crown of your head. Invite the tip of your tongue to your upper palate. And also invite a gentle smile at the edges of your lips and the edges of your eyes. And draw your attention even more so into the center of the core of your body, all the way to your pelvic bowl. Feel that with each inhalation, you're inviting your breath to fill your pelvic bowl. Inviting breath into Muladhara. And with your next inhalation, and also invite your hands to your heart, to Anjali Mudra, to prayer position. And feel that you're returning into the center, coming back to origin and coming into the center as I open sacred space, inviting the winds of the south, the great serpent Amaru, be here with us. Allow us and teach us, remind us how to shed our skin and let go of the past, how to feel more connected to Mother Earth, to feel her like a living being as you do, always belly to belly with her. Be here, Amaru. Allow us to feel what needs to be changed and help us in that shift and change. Horpichai. To the winds of the west, Otorongo, great Jaguar, be here with us. Walk next to us. Remind us the teachings of no fear in this world or the next. Allow your heartbeat to echo in our own heartbeat so we can be as brave and fearless as you. So we can have that sweetness, that sensitivity that you hold in your paws of discernment, compassion, and that power that you have in your claws so we could be decisive and real. Horpichai. To the winds of the north, sweet hummingbird, colimbri, and dear ancestors, be here with us. Hummingbird, remind us that sweetness, remind us of the nectar of life. Remind us how to fly backwards and go heal the past so we can move forward to collect the nectar once again. And dear ancestors, shamans, yogis, Taoists, martial artists, great ones, great teachers. Allow us to feel in this shift of attention of humanity right now, what is most important to remember, what is most important to bring with us in the next phase. We're grateful, ancestors. We're grateful, dearest teachers, for your holding space for us. Horpichai. The winds of the east, great condor, allow us to rise, help us rise above and see the greater picture of our life, see the greater picture of all of life. Allow us to feel connected with the divine energy, so we feel that divine energy within us, always, like you do, always flying wing to wing with the Great Spirit. Be here, allow us to open our heart, like you open, and spread your wings. Be here, Condor, give us that wisdom to see from far above and from high above, have better clarity and make better informed decisions. Horpichai. Pachamama, Dulce Mamita, sweet Mother Earth, thank you. Thank you for holding us everywhere we walk, everywhere we sit. Thank you for making this ceremonial land, for connecting us as we all sit together on you, held by you, no matter where we are on your face. May we awaken to take care of you better. May we reach into you and behave in a different way to give you our love, to begin to treat you like a mother, like a loving mother that you are. Horpichai. Inti taita, to the winds, to the sky. Inti, Father, Son, be here. Grandmother Moon, Mama Kila, be here. Inti, send your flames to heat us, to warm us up. Send your light of energy of life and send the flames so we can burn old contracts, old ways of being. And Mama Kila, sweet Grandmother Moon, be here. Send us your wisdom. Send us your reflecting, beautiful energy, your silver light. Allow us the wisdom and allow us to have that beautiful loving, that grandmother loving. May we feel you hold us. May we begin to hold one another with that quality of love. Horpichai. And gently pressing into your heart, inhale into your heart. Feel as if you're whispering and whisper within you. Beloved self, beloved heart, mi cariño, be here fully in this circle of loving people, in this tribe of jaguars, reuniting or meeting new ones, being in the same vibration, knowing that allies are around. Be here, be present. Horpichai. Gently tap your heart and inhale, open your eyes. Namaste, welcome. Welcome. This is beautiful. Again, I'm happy to see everyone. I want to start to say that with everything changed, we've shifted, and from being present with so many people physically every day, now we have been more than a month and a half in quarantine alone. And we are inspired to make sure that we're all connected and make sure that we all reach out to each other to have that network of allies and that we feel supported and know there is a tribe. I want to start by saying that my feelings and sensations, I'm hoping that with this meeting, I'm going to touch a little bit on the subject of, to speak to the elephant that's in the room, to the topic that is present no matter what we do, talk about it or not talk about it. And I hope that through talking about it in maybe a different angle, we can all find empowerment. I'll talk a little bit through my personal experience of this and my personal experiences of the past. And I will be open and happy to open it to 2 or 3 questions or 4 questions to make sure that I do connect with you and I do touch from my heart as an answer best I can some questions or give this shamanic spin on things and what the shamans are saying. And again, I hope that this is a moment of light for all of us. So for me, one of the interesting things that happened is, interesting enough, is that when all this came down, about a week later after everyone left from Costa Rica, from when we finished the training and everyone was gone, about a week later, I realized that I can't go home, that I'm not going home. And I had a deja vu. In 2003, some of you know, some of you may not know, in 2003, I was diagnosed with cancer and I was given 90 days. I was given 3 months to live. And I was told to do a series of surgeries and that I could maybe perhaps live, but it wasn't sure at all. It was really what they all said, very late when they diagnosed everything. It was stage 4 cancer of the kidneys. It was renal carcinoma that had spread to my lungs and liver and both kidneys, and was basically, like I said, too late. And in that moment, I realized that my life was taken away, that everything that I knew and everything that everyone I knew and everything that I did, I was not going to be with anymore. I'm going to fast forward and say that I opted out not to do surgery. I didn't do surgery back then. But rather I opted to start doing acupuncture to myself as I was a student of acupuncture school. And about a year later, I decided that since I was still alive, that I needed to see and check and see what the situation was and where things were at. I was feeling that I was blessed and for some reason still alive 12 months later, where the doctors had said only 3 months. And I decided then to say that I'm going to leave Greece and come to the United States. Maybe you all know I was living all my life in Greece. And I came to the United States to go to Johns Hopkins and find out where things had progressed or what things looked like, and get an idea from Johns Hopkins, as it's considered to be one of the best hospitals on the planet. And when I went to Johns Hopkins and they did the tests, I met a week later with a doctor, the head of the Department of Urology, as it was basically everyone was focusing on kidneys. And the head of the urologist raised his hands and he said, I said, what do you mean? He said, there's nothing we could do. And I said, well, can't we do surgery? He said, well, why didn't you do anything back then? I said, well, that's what I did a year and a half ago. That's what I decided. And I said, is there anything we could do? And he said, I'm really sorry. I think you should take care of your affairs. Many of you know me and have been in my classes and have been in my trainings. A couple of you are neighbors, beloved friends. All of you are beloved friends. 17 years have passed. And I am healthier and happier than ever. And more importantly, I'm on my Dharma more than ever. To make sure, just for those of you who have may not heard the whole story or whatever, and make a point of it, I did do one surgery in 2005, as the people from Johns Hopkins asked me if I wanted to participate in a study in the National Institute of Health. And at that point, I said, well, if I'm going to be dying, I may as well be of some use to humanity. If I'm part of a study and that could be helpful, let's just do that. So I did do that one surgery, and I gave up my one kidney, my right kidney, which was what seemed to be the beginning of all of that had happened and unfolded. And soon after, about 8 months after my surgery, I went to Peru and I started working with the shamans. Both being in the United States and then even more so being in Peru, where now I was in a place that I did not speak the language and I was in a whole different culture. What I realized more than ever is that my normal everyday life, or the life I knew, was taken away. And all my points of references were taken away. So what really happened is I'm finding myself again in Central America now, not in South America, with a backpack, actually, unfortunately, with 2 pairs of shorts and this shirt. I know those of you who have been with me here, you've seen this a lot. and nothing else. So I have a backpack and nothing of my life, not my beloved motorcycle or my bicycle or my couch or my cat. And I came back to some mourning, and there was definitely some crying and some mourning to be released for everything that I've lost. But one of the things that came to me is the understanding that here I am again, and I'm losing everything again. But the very interesting aspect is that I'm losing it along with a lot of other people, along with everyone. We've all lost something. We've all lost something, and that something I feel we realize is what is in the outside. The setup of society, the setup of culture, the usual places we like to go. And I'm obviously speaking for myself. May that be my favorite yoga studio, Kripalu, my favorite restaurant, my favorite ride with a motorcycle or the bicycle ride on the path, my hikes. Everything has been taken away. And there was a moment when I realized that this is happening to me again, that I had a panic, a double panic, but then I went back and I remember that sense of loss that I had. And it took about a year or 2 years or so for me to start developing new points of references and a new way of being. And what happened is that what I did let go of was everything. And what I could do is start collecting very slowly new things, much more carefully. It was harder to collect them. It was harder to find that new place where I want to do a new thing like yoga. It was harder to find a new way of eating because my eating had changed totally because I was sick. And what happened is because I lost everything, I found out that I had the opportunity to rebuild from nothing. And those chances that I had to go to a Vipassana and be for 10 days in silence that I hadn't taken before because I was too busy with life and I wasn't doing that. It was never the right time to leave work and be 10 days silent at a retreat. It was never the right time to leave work or for a week and be doing just yoga to replenish and to get into my body. It was never the right 10 days to stop eating because, well, not today, tomorrow, I'll eat my favorite food, I'll grab it from the supermarket, or I'll go to the restaurant. What happened is that there was no more choice for me, and I had to do all of that at once. And for me, it was the most difficult part of my entire life. At 40, I'd never lived something so difficult. I'm going to share, have cried so much as I did back then. And especially because I was leaving my 2-year-old son. I had left my 2-year-old son in Greece, who many of you now know. He's 18 going to 35 and is an awesome young man. And while it was the most difficult thing and the hardest, the worst thing in so many ways that happened to me, I look back at it, and for the last decade looking back at it, and even more so today, I look back at it as the best thing that ever happened. It interrupted all my habits, and I'm not going to say bad habits. I was never a bad guy. I just didn't have a habit of doing yoga. I didn't have a habit of eating so well. I didn't have a habit of drinking a lot of water. I didn't have a habit of, it was the habits that I didn't have. I let go of smoking, obviously, and drinking. I let go of sleeping at 3 a.m., which is what everyone does in Greece. Basically, I let go of myself, and the original panic that I felt of who am I settled down. And I feel that that is one of the things that maybe we're all facing. I know some of us are facing, some of our relatives are diagnosed with COVID-19. Some of us have lost some people, and I'm sending my love to you and my condolences and all my sweetness, so your heart is sweetened, and all the shamanic energy I can for your beloved ones to heal. I want to say, though, something that just might not be said in these conversations, because the conversations have gone, I feel, awry. Some of them are political, then they shouldn't be. Some of them are about this or that. It is true that we're all letting go, and that maybe, just maybe, as individuals and maybe as a society, and especially I think as a society, because I can't speak to each one of you individuals what's correct and what's not. It might just be an opportunity as a society to pause everything, to take 5 steps back, 10 steps back. We are already doing this, and decide what is best for the planet and what is best and what do we each want to rebuild. How can we truly come back to that place of point of origin, who we truly are before our life even started? Before that life that I feel when I was born, it just started happening. And I think I started remembering what happened at 5 or 6 or 7. And there was a lot of the things that were traumas when I was 7 and 8 and 10 that I wasn't controlling. And then a whole life of excitement that happened when I was 20. I think it is a unique opportunity for us to pause and do what everyone teaches us in all the shamanic schools and all the yogic schools, to turn inward and to quieten the narrator. It is our narrator that is mostly in panic. And I feel it for myself. I'll speak for myself. It's like, I can't go to my favorite place. It is, I am losing point of reference of who I am. And it is an opportunity to see that the points of reference that we have for outside are not truly who we are. Our beloved ones are the true point of reference by all means. So it is time perhaps for us an opportunity to return inward, to find time to really go into deeper meditation and begin to notice those teachings that it took me forever to get, and I wasn't getting them until I was alone in the jungle or alone in a little room in the Sacred Valley, and alone here now. That in meditation, I can discover amazing spaces and I can discover a whole different self. It is perhaps time for all of us to take the opportunity to practice more yoga or to practice more Tai Chi or whatever it is that we can practice to really soften our nervous system, to really tap into our endocrine system and dive deeper than ever, and in some ways quicker than ever, not that that's the point, but to get it quicker than ever, get into the gifts by doing these practices daily. I've given myself once again, and this is the gift I propose, I've given myself once again more practice than I've ever had. And even as a yoga teacher, I gotten so busy that my personal practice was a little bit less. So let's dive in, go internal and feel how much yoga, and if I can practice an hour and a half and 2 hours or 3 hours and see what happens then. Let me practice in sitting meditation, and rather than thinking and stewing, and especially rather than looking at news, yeah, it's important to be informed, but this information is throwing us all back to our amygdala and our adrenals. And when we're in our amygdala and we're adrenals, and I think maybe that's a point for me to speak to, because I don't know with how many I've shared this part of the teachings. When we're in our adrenals, we're in fight or flight, and we have zero function. Our whole prefrontal cortex is shut down. For me, it's been, I'll come to that, and I'll just say that one of the things that I had always wanted to do, and I invite you to do, is there something you were wanting to do and life didn't permit? For me, one of these things was to learn Spanish. So now all of a sudden I have time to study Spanish every day. Going back to the yoga mat, designing more postures and looking deeper into the sensations, going deeper into the meditation and actually feeling the fruit. And beginning to feel deeper than ever and realizing what the narrator is, who my voice inside is a narrator that is created by the collective consciousness, and who inside of me is the deepest ray from the point of origin, the shaman within, or the enlightened one that we all have within. So I'll speak a little bit about the adrenals and the function of that main function of how we work electrically as beings, because we are electrical and chemical beings, first of all. And it is my understanding, coming from being Greek and the idea of Socrates, of who said, know thyself and you shall know the secrets of all the gods in the universe. That in the biggest part of knowing thyself is not to be philosophical and know my thoughts, but rather to understand how I function as a being and what my nervous system looks like, what my endocrine system looks like, etc., and what my meridian system looks like. So I'm going to say that there's a basic function that we have. We are here alive today still as a species because we have what is called the amygdala, the reptile brain, and our adrenals. And for tens of thousands of years, when we would take notice that there was a threat of life from a larger predator, our amygdala would turn on and our adrenals would turn on, and then we could fight, flight, or freeze in order to make it into life and to survive. This has been with us for tens of thousands of years. So the essence is that when we feel any life-threatening situation, we go directly back there. One of the beautiful things that happened when we shifted from being Neanderthals to becoming Homo sapiens, what really marks that shift and change of evolution of humanity was when we were giving a new brain, the prefrontal cortex. When we were giving the prefrontal cortex, electricity started moving in the front of the body, and the prefrontal cortex gave us some essential functions. The essential function of love, of compassion, of empathy, understanding one another, and of intuition, to be able to plan ahead. The whole front of the body is connected with what is called the conceptual meridian that starts from the bottom of under the lip and goes to the whole front all the way to the perineum. The conceptual meridian allows us to connect through the tip of the tongue to our prefrontal cortex and pituitary gland, which is the gland that gives us the halo that we see Christ have, the halo, the flame that we see on the top of Shiva's head. The pineal gland is seen in the pine cone hairdo that the Buddha has. In order for us to awaken the pituitary gland and the pineal gland, we have to move electricity to the prefrontal cortex. When we are threatened, when we feel the slightest threat of life, we move back. Our adrenals and amygdala take over, and we're essentially hijacked by our reptilian brain. This happens so quickly. It happens, and I know many of you, and I know your beloved ones, your husbands and your wives, it happens to all of us, even when our partner can say, oh, you didn't do the dishes today. All of a sudden, we go in the back because there's something threatening happening. And the moment we go in the back, we're hijacked. We're not our true self anymore. We are that Neanderthal. The practices that I mentioned earlier, all of them, Tai Chi, Qigong, yoga, which is something we all share together, and many of you I see in Nina's Qigong classes, meditation, and shamanic practices like rattling and opening the heart, tapping. All these practices do one thing. They have been designed from the beginning of their existence till today to help human beings move in the front of the body. And when we move the electricity to the front of the body, and now we are in our prefrontal cortex and our heart, rather than the amygdala and the adrenals, then we are in a much better place to be able to respond, to be able to know what the right next move is, to be able to foresee and look down into the future, way into the future, and make better decisions for what we want to do and where we want to go. Now more than ever is time to practice all this, from meditation to the yoga to the Tai Chi Qigong to being alone and making that be okay, to be in vipassana and in silence without seeing people, and use it to the best of our advantage, because there's one thing that's for sure. All this is going to pass. We may lose beloved ones. My heart shakes and trembles with thinking of my elderly parents in Massachusetts alone without me. I brought them there so they're close to me, and now I'm 2,000 miles, 3,000 miles away. My heart shakes for my son, which is once again in Greece, and I'm so far away. But all this is going to pass. And when this time passes, what will matter most is what we have done with our time. We can point fingers, we can say who's responsible and who's not. The truth of the matter is that none of that matters. There is no one that we can consider responsible, and it doesn't matter to even go there. There is no manager. We cannot complain to anyone. There is no one that can fix it. We can't complain or ask anyone to do anything. I feel, and this is my personal sensation coming from my heart, that what matters is what we did with this time and how can we use this best. So when we come out, we all come back out and we've all bettered ourselves. So as a community, as a society, as cities, as countries, we come back and we're better. We're better with Mother Earth. We're better with our fellow humans. We're better with our sons and daughters, with our fathers and our mothers. We're better with Pachamama. I feel that it is time more than ever to pause and say, Mother Earth, I feel you as a symbiotic living being, or rather I feel you as a living being. I realize now that I need to take care of you more than ever. I've shared with you one of the things that I've learned from medicinal plants in the jungle, that first of all, looking at the jungle, the shamans say there's two relationships when you look out in the jungle. There are symbiotic relationships and parasitic relationships. Parasitic relationships are those relationships of some vines that wrap around a tree and squeeze the life out of the tree until it withers and goes, and they hold the shell of the tree so they can stand up and be in the high place of the canopy. And there's symbiotic relationships, some ants that live in trees and protect the tree, don't let any other tree grow around it 10 feet around so it can have plenty of space. There's a frog that lives with a tarantula, where usually tarantulas love eating frogs. There's a frog that lives in that same place because that frog eats the ants that come for the tarantula's eggs. And one of the first things that the shamans told me when I started learning cord cutting and they had me cut cords is which of the relationships are symbiotic in your life and which of them are parasitic. And one of the things that they had me do and sit in meditation for days was, what are you on this earth? Are you here offering a symbiotic relationship to Mother Earth, or are you a parasitic relationship? Are you taking too much from Mother Earth and you're not giving back, or are you taking in exchange of giving? So the parasitic may, if either I am a parasitic relationship to something else or someone else is, that belongs to the adrenals and to the amygdala. The symbiotic relationship belongs to the sphere of the prefrontal cortex and the heart. This, no matter how scared we are or how sad we are, I feel the best we could do with this when it passes is to say, yes, my beloved brothers, my friends, my neighbors, some of you, my students, my teachers, we did the best and we came out being better. And we're coming out to create a new life. And we may have lost all of our points of references, or most. But as we come out, we're going to create new points of references and more sustainable way of living for ourselves, for our neighbors, for our students, for our parents. And most of all, what I hope, seeing all these pictures of dolphins in the canals of Florence, of Venice, and seeing all these pictures of animals roaming around free, and the blue skies that we could see in the cities that have been so polluted. Let us make this be a change that we all are better. And the only one way to do it is if we each work on ourselves. Because I've watched people correct people in our society, and I've watched people complain and watch and look for the manager, and it doesn't seem to be bettering the situation. And like Kabir said, the Sufi master, it's like, I used to be smart and I wanted to fix the world. Now I'm wise and I want to better myself. I want to change myself. I share this with love, and I share this with not knowing more than any one of you on this panel. One thing I share and I feel is that I've lived this again, and I hope that this gives you hope and light in your heart. My heart had sunk because I thought I'd lost everything. And now looking back, I was given such an opportunity to have a second life and to live anew with more clarity and more wisdom. And it took a lot of work, and it took a while, but it happened. It happened. And in the deepest of my heart, I have deeper relationships. I have deeper love. I am quieter than ever. My narrator upstairs, my whole committee upstairs, like some of you like to call it, are quiet up there. And there's times that I can just be in pure silence, something I could not fathom before. I thought I would lose reality if I would be quiet. And now I expand, and every time I'm quiet, I connect more and more with the synchronistic energy lines of the universe. And I connect with my teachers, my beloved Don Sebastian and Don Francisco, who my heart goes out to because Peru has been hit really hard. I hope that we all find ways, and maybe one thing that might come out as a result of our meeting today is maybe you take a moment and make a list of things that you would like to let go of, and a list of things that you would like to introduce into your life. Maybe there's dreams of something that you would want to do and you have never had the time to do. Let us take this as an opportunity not for our hearts to sink or to begin to grasp more, because it is grasping, I feel, that has led us here. It is time for us to turn inward, and again, maybe making that list, which is a list that I was given to do. Some of you, I see, were in the jungle with me, and when we were in that jungle in those malocas, I had to stay for 7 days alone. That's where I made my lists, with a lot of crying, with a lot of being on my knees, broken and lost. But I came out, and those lists gave me a new life that miraculously healed cancer. I would go back to the National Institute of Health after being in the jungle, and all the doctors came out. This is all in record in the National Institute of Health. Things began to become smaller. Things changed. And I had an opportunity to have a new life, a better life. And there's one thing I'll kind of close with and say, at the time that I was feeling the most emotion and when I was crying and falling on my knees, when I met the ayahuasquero in the jungle, I was on my knees telling him I'm dying and I have a 2-year-old and I'm never going to see my 2-year-old. And it was true. That was happening. And he turned around to me. Some of you may know this story. He turned around to me and he looked down at me because I was on my knees. And he said, hermanito, my little brother, I don't care about my own emotions. What makes you think I'm going to care about yours? And first of all, my self, it's like, what the beep are you even talking about? I got up. I was ready to be outraged with him. I said, they send me here because I thought you were a healer. And now you're saying this? You have zero compassion? I hadn't had time to say any of this. All of this were coming up. I wiped my eyes clear. I inhaled. I was like, what the WTF? And he turned around. He looked at me with the sweetest open heart. And he put his hands on my shoulder and he said, my sweet brother, I see you're ready to do the work now. Let's go and do it. Let's save your life. And that saved my life. And I am grateful to Maestro Panduro, who is not here anymore, who I never thought and imagined, dreamed that would be the case, that I would be alive, and he, this amazing, powerful shaman, would not be. But yet, we are. So cry and let things out. and maybe yell and let things out, but return to your courageous and beautiful self, to a soft heart, to be ready to say, okay, I will quieten the narrators and the stories up there, and I will step forth, and I will give help to other people that need it, and dive into the practices, because there's only one thing we could do. We're going to come out of this on the other side, and I hope for all of us that we're all going to come out better. And yes, we're all going to be hurt and broken, but that's what the shamans say. We are the wounded healers. And our wounds are what makes us deeper people. And our hurts make us more compassionate. And our losses make us more real. So from my heart, I hope this is useful. I hope this is inspiring, because I believe that we can create a new life on this planet. And I believe that we were all, and I feel it, and I see, and I know I can say yes for most of you that are here, and that we've had these conversations, that we were all looking at a dead end. Where the hell is this planet going? What's going to happen with this global warming? There is no more global warming. We paused it. It's paused. There's an opportunity to heal our planet for our children and for our children's children. And there's an opportunity for all of us to make a new life. To say, yes, thank you. We've been humbled, and we're not here to be needy or demanding anymore. We're here to offer service to everyone around us, and we're here to be humble and powerful and to bring beauty. That is my prayer. May we bring beauty to the world and to all of us around us. May we bring beauty back to the planet and begin to treat this planet our only mother, our only home. May there be a shift. And maybe as consciousness, because it's the collective consciousness that is driving us mad or demanding. May we create a collective consciousness, that of Buddha, of Christ, of Allah, of Shiva, anyone you want, name the God. They all taught the same thing. The God and the goddesses. May we create a new world. And may this world not be driven by greed or by demand. May we create a world that's driven by love and by heart, by humbleness and courage. May we awaken to Mother Teresa's teachings, to the Buddha's teachings, to all the great ones. All the great ones. There's so many, and all their teachings are common. I had said that I would leave some time for questions, but I'm afraid I didn't. And in some ways, I feel that that can be okay. I'm very happy to receive a one-sentence question, so we can bring it up on the first Monday of every month. And let's repeat this in a month, and hopefully things are going to be much better and we can have a different conversation. But again, I hope from my heart that this is useful and inspiring. I hope from my heart, and I bow to every one of you, not only as students, but also as my teachers. And I am grateful, and I bow to you as points of reference to my life, that you show up and I can keep my reality in check. Yeah, I'm real. My beloved ones, I can name every one of you. Even if I haven't seen you in 3 or 4 years, or those of you I've seen just an hour ago talking, or this morning in yoga. Join me in the yoga. We've opened the yoga classes for everyone. We're sending the first, I dove in and I've creating this new training. So I'm learning how to be an editor and be making films. I'm making that training that you may have heard about. I will send out the first session to everyone to receive those teachings. Again, I hope this is inspiring, and I'd like to bring a meditation to close our session today. And let us meditate. And I should not forget, because some of you reached out to me, and for those of you who have people that are in it and are afraid for their lives, or for those of you who have lost already, my heart goes out to you. My prayers go out to your beloved ones. Let us all meditate together, because there's a collective that we can make through our meditation that can bring in a new world. Without COVID-19, without the greed and the frenzy. So I invite you to close your eyes and bring your attention inward. And perhaps after this, to see and go inward and feel into that deeper self, the deepest of yourself, returning into the point of origin, who you are before anything happened, before this, but way before those childhood memories, the true self that shines within, who you truly are. Scoop your tailbone and press down. Feel this body you're in. Engage, inviting your navel in. Lift the ribcage up and away from the pelvic floor. Tuck your chin, lengthen through the crown of your head, creating more space for this primordial self to fill your body. Invite the tip of your tongue to your upper palate, so to connect the front line of the body, so your heart and your prefrontal cortex are hardwired together. Flare out your nostrils and inhale. Feel that breath awakening the pituitary and pineal gland, and send that breath all the way down to your pelvic bowl, awakening Muladhara, the first chakra. Allowing for the tip of the tongue to be there. Also allow for that gentle smile at the edges of your lips and the edges of your eyes, awakening, lifting the corners of our mouth to awaken stomach 4, to get our fire of digestive tract to work, to burn through any difficulties, because we don't only digest food, but we also digest and integrate life situations and happenings. Breathe into your body as the Buddha. And in this time, the darkest of all, go into your body and expand and shine light outward. May we all collectively shine light out to the world, now that the world needs it most of all. May we tap into the deepest of our compassion for everyone around us, for our teachers and our students, for our neighbors and our enemies. May we come to that place of the prefrontal cortex and, like Buddha, say, I do not have enemies. I do not live in the back of my body. I live in the front room, where there's a better view and a better future. Inhale and invite your hands to your heart. And bow your chin to your heart. And notice how, as you bow your chin to your heart, you're inviting your forehead, prefrontal cortex, just a little closer to your heart. And as you gently press your thumbs on your heart, awaken that front line. Awaken that part of us that is mechanical, to encourage that energy of consciousness to be in the front body, so we can make those positive thoughts, so we can make these positive changes, so that we can remember to be in the front, to make better informed decisions, to love and have compassion, sympathy, patience, understanding. So to perhaps witness a personal miracle for each one of us, perhaps bringing a miracle of this humankind to a new level. Bow to your heart and thank yourself. Be and remember to be more now than ever, sweet with yourself, compassionate and loving with yourself. And if you wish to, and only if you wish to, bow deeper to give thanks to any god or goddess, to light those candles on our altars for the gods and goddesses to be here with us. Giving thanks, and I personally bow to St. Francis, who brought me to Don Francisco, St. Francis, who brought me to Kripalu, St. Francis, who has been the light of my life, who brought me to the power animals. I bow to Christ, whose name in some ways I carry, and I love his teachings. I bow to Krishna, to Hanuman, to Mother Mary and Magdalene, to Shakti, to Kali, for all these gods and goddesses that filled and enriched my life when I felt I was emptied and void of life. May Ganesh be with all of us. May Ganesh remove this obstacle that has come. May Hanuman, the God of service, awaken in every one of us so we can help all the others. May Shakti and Kali awaken in every woman and every man so we can be real and true. And may Shiva and Christ awaken so we can give service to everyone around us. Gently tap your heart and inhale. Open your eyes. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for being here. I love you all, and you know it, and I appreciate you all, and I'm grateful for all of you. I am humbled that you took the time to listen to my opinion in this dark time, and I hope that this has been light and courage. Please do reach out, send me an email, and again, we're setting this up for the first Monday of every month from now on, and we can make the next one, perhaps if I see what is the most common questions, I'll try to address those questions. Namaste and Horpichai to everyone.
Namaste.
My love from my heart. Be
Namaste.
well, and we'll
Thank you
talk
so
very
much.
soon.
Thank you so much. You are
Horpichai.
medicine.
Namaste.
Thank you, Ray. So lovely to be here. Thank you.